Okay, guys, so a nice little quick one for me today. Just a little tip on how to deal with grouping elements vertically. And this came out of a question in one of the Facebook communities where someone had a heading, like an accent up here, and an actual heading. They wanted to group those together, but have spacing between all of the other items in that column. So with a container and bricks, by default, it's set to flex, and by default, the direction is column. So this makes no difference here whatsoever. So you change it to row if you want row, but by default, it is column. So what we want to do is put some row gap on that column to give us our vertical spacing. So we go to the row gap here, and I'm going to sort of put 30 on there, and that gives us 30 pixel spacing between each of these elements in that column. Right. So if you think of each of these as being a row, so each one of these elements as being a row in that layout, now we have an issue where our heading is too far away from our accent. So a typical way in the past that people might have dealt with this is go on that. So we go to style, layout, we might put a minus 30 on that heading or 35 or whatever it is to undo the spacing that we put there. So in effect, we've added some spacing, and then for the effect, we've taken the spacing away. For me, that makes no sense, because what happens when you change the gap? Like if I go back and I'm using a variable, for example, if I went to my container, and instead of using a fixed 30 here, I've got a variable there that I use, so I can vary this throughout my whole site and keep it consistent. If I change the variable, I've now broken the connection between elements, because my negative margin is no longer correct because I've actually got more spacing I have to deal with. That makes no sense for consistency and for manageability. So a better way to do it is to actually think about, how do I get these two on the same row? Simple answer to that is basically what you do in bricks. You add a block element. There's my block there, and you stick your basic text inside that block, and you're getting inside that block. Now they're both in the same row. So each of these now has a row with a 30 pixel spacing. I would probably then even go into the container, and for this particular layout, maybe center everything in the center there. That there as well. Let's just center that. That. You probably wouldn't do it this way, but and on my block, we need to tell it to center as well. That centers everything. So what we end up with is our accent heading grouped with our actual heading, 30 pixel spacing to the next element, 30 pixel spacing to the button. That's a simple way of looking at it. Now, if you wanted to bring that together now, I could then go to, say, for example, the heading, and I would then go to margin top, and I'd use M's here. So I'd use 0.2 M. Okay, maybe that's maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 0.3 M. It's grouping them too close together, but the point being is that because I'm using M's, it's relevant to font size. If I change that now to a heading 3, it still stays consistent. Change that to a heading 4, it stays consistent. So it's a better way of doing it. Now if I then go back to my container and I change that to, say, let's make it wild, make it 60. I've made a 60 pixel spacing here, but these two stay exactly the same relative to each other. All right, so that's the reason you just do not use negative margin for these things. Think of these things in advance. Think of that as a row. This is a row, that's a row, and you want the spacing between the rows. You want multiple elements in a row, put them in a block, and put those elements inside that block. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about this. So I hope you like this sort of thing. If you do, hit the subscribe, hit the like. Thank you.